Welcome back everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about printing in AutoCAD. Um, Printing to the sheet size in AutoCAD with the proper scale is not very easy, and we need to follow certain steps in order to have a correct scale on the final printout that we want. Therefore, I prepared a mini project for this video so I can walk through all the steps, and I do recommend following these steps so that you can have finally a proper printout. So the topics we're going to cover is model versus paper space. So there are two spaces in AutoCAD. There are how to create layouts in the paper space, and each layout can have a different page setup for different kind of printers, or for the same printer but different sheet sizes. So you can set up each layout with different page setup. You can create a border. In later videos, we're going to talk about how to create a title block so that we can put the designer information, the date, logo, who checked, tolerances, and so forth. We can create a layer that doesn't print, and we can put the borders of viewports so that the borders do not print. We can put those entities, the borders, in a layer that wouldn't print, and we're gonna talk about it. And finally, how we can make sure your printout is placed at the center of the sheet. Here's an example of what we're gonna create. Since there's no printer connected to my computer, we're gonna select a PDF Maker as your printer. PDF Maker, in PDF Maker you can choose any sheet size you want, so there's no limitation. However, in the real world, your printer will have limitation on the sheet size. Also, if a sheet is not available for your printer or plotter, you gotta make sure what size is available so that you can change your page setup and print to that size. So as you see, there's a border and there's a space between the border and edges of your sheet. There's a viewport here with different scale. Also, there are three smaller viewports at the bottom. In this case, it zooms in to furthermore to the ring of the tire. In this case, it's zooming into the left view mirror, and in this case, it's zooming furthermore into the headlight. Okay. So let's go to AutoCAD. I've already opened this file that's freely available on the internet. You can search for Tesla DWG free model. Can go ahead and open that. First off, I want to see how many layers I have. I have just one layer called 0. I'm going to go ahead and select everything. And as you see, the colors by block, I'm going to change to by layer. I would like everything here, color, line weight, and line type to be by layer. Okay. So I'm going to turn on the line weight. I want to see if there's any weight to the line, and apparently there's not. So what we can do, we can go ahead and click on layer properties and click on the line weight for this layer 0, and let's go ahead and change that to 0.3 and X out. As you see, the line weight is visible now. You can turn it off or turn it back on using this icon. Okay, so this is ready. In AutoCAD, we normally draw to the true size in the model space. That's where we are. But we're going to go to the layout space. We're going to go to the paper space. where we can create many layouts as we wish. So I'm gonna dismiss layout 1 that might have been imported from another CAD software, as the model might have been imported. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this plus sign to create a new layout. Okay, click on layout 2 and zoom out. Okay, so at this point I'm not sure what's the sheet size, what's the scale here, and so forth. So when you create a viewport, when you create a layout, AutoCAD by default creates a viewport. If you single left click here and press delete, everything will go away. I'm gonna undo it. Okay, so this is a port to view the model in the paper space. Okay, as I'm moving the cursor inside and outside, nothing happens. But if I move inside and double click inside this viewport, as you see, I'm moving the cursor out, and as you see, I can't do nothing outside, but I can actually zoom in, zoom out inside, right? Let's go ahead and, let's say, zoom in to the tire. Okay, after you're done, double click out. Now you can zoom in, zoom out paper. That's a very important concept. We're gonna repeat that. So that's your viewport. I'm gonna escape so that I deselect everything. I'm gonna double click inside the port. I'm gonna zoom out. So you see, zoomed out. I'm gonna double click outside of the viewport. Now I can zoom in, zoom out the paper. Alright, that being said, I'm going to double click inside, and you will see that there is a scale written here. As you see, there are many standard scales available. We're going to create a custom scale. I'm going to escape out from there, double click outside. I'm going to go ahead and initially change the size of this. Okay. All right. And before making sure what the size would be, I would like to go and check my page setup. So we can go to Big A, print page setup. I'm gonna dismiss layout 1. I'm gonna click on layout 2, that's this layout, and modify it. In the page setup, you need to select the printer. If you have a printer connected to your computer, it should be shown up here, and you gotta make sure it's already installed and the drivers are set up. I'm gonna choose Microsoft Print to PDF. That's my printer. Sheet size, you can select anything. For this example, I'm gonna select letter. What to plot, we're gonna talk about this later. I'm gonna keep it default, but plot scale, I always keep it 1:1 unless I gotta use something else. But this scale has nothing to do with the scale of the object inside this viewport. Okay, so this scale is from paper to the printer, so I always keep it 1:1 and click on OK. So letter size and the width will be 11 inch and the height will be 8.5 inch because it's in the landscape orientation. Okay, I'm in the layer 0. It's got a border thickness. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a border. Okay, so that's your 0,0 point. To draw the rectangle, we're going to assume a 1/4 inch distance between the edges of the sheet and the border. So the bottom left corner, the coordinate will be 0.25, 0.25, as I typed right here. Press enter, and the top corner will be, we know that this is 11 inch, the entire sheet length, and height is 8.5. So the length will be, we're gonna put add sign as you see down here. So 10.5 will be the length of the rectangle, and 8 will be the height of the rectangle. Okay, so there's a 1/4 inch distance between the sheet and the border. Make sure rectangle is in your layer 0 where you have a thickness assigned to it. And when you zoom in, you're gonna see it's the border is thick. So right now, let's recap. So we came to the paper space by creating a new layout, and we went to Big A, print and page setup, and we selected a printer, and for that we selected a letter size sheet. Okay, I'm gonna, now that I know what I am dealing with as far as the sheet size and the printer, I'm gonna go ahead and increase the length but decrease the height of this. I'm gonna double click inside the viewport. You can zoom out. Now we're gonna assign some sort of a standard scale here. So as you double click inside the viewport, this is gonna be available. You can go ahead and click on custom, and we're gonna add a new scale. Let's assume 1 to 1000, 1 to 1000. So this is the name, and we're gonna reduce the true size of the car 1000 times. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and pick that. Okay, so right now the scale of this is 1 to 1000, or 1:1000. You can go ahead and increase or decrease that. Let's go ahead and practice again on that. So click on custom, and let's assume 750. 1 to 750. Okay, come back here and select that. Okay, so this is a different scale, 1:750. That means that you have reduced the true size of the car 750 times. Okay, so I'm gonna double click outside and increase the height a little bit so that we can see the entire car. We can go ahead and add a text. Let's say mtext or multi-line text, and can press F3 to turn on object snap. Make sure it's on. Okay, we're gonna type scale 1:750. Okay, and we're gonna select that, and we're gonna go ahead and change the height of this. So if you click outside, that's the size of the text we have, right? And double click on that. So we can go ahead and change the font type. Let's say Times New Roman. Okay, and you can change the height. So that's 1. That's 0.1. Let's do 0.25. It's a large 0.2. Actually, that did not work. Scale 1:750, and select that and change the scale to 0.15. Okay, that's good enough. You can go ahead and move this, press enter, scale 150. We're gonna click on the border of the viewport, and we're gonna create a layer called no print and move the the border of this viewport to a no print type of layer. Click on layer properties, click on new. Let's call it no print, okay? And let's change the color to red. Make sure the line weight default is a thin line type, and make this no print by clicking here. So that makes it no print. We're gonna create another layer called Viewport or Viewport and make it print and change the color to black, and the line weight make it default. So we're gonna create a few other viewports and make the edges of those viewports visible. Okay, so let's go ahead to view, and we're gonna add a new view. Okay, you can also copy this viewport and then modify it. So that's another way. All right. So I'm gonna go back to layout and click on rectangular viewport. In the layout viewport, click on rectangle. You can go ahead and draw a viewport like that. You can zoom in. I want to bring the Tesla name up here. Okay. Tesla. Double click out. Let's go ahead and move this. Press enter. Then move it to the center, somewhere here. Let's go ahead and move. Select. Press enter. Move it to the top. Click on the border edges. Okay. Increase the length. Let's go ahead and move it a little to the right side. Move. Press enter. Base point the right size. Double click inside and then pan a little bit to the left. Double click out. And we're gonna move the original viewport. Press enter. Base point. Move it up a little bit. Something like that. And also we're gonna, of course, move the text. We have talked about move command in the previous videos. So I'm gonna change the border of these two viewports to no print. So they wouldn't be printed, but the content will be printed. Okay. So the scale of this is 1 to 750. I'm gonna go ahead to layout and add a few new viewports. So layout, click on rectangular, and I want to show the tire, more details of the tire here. Double click in. I don't care about the scale here, I just want to increase the size or by a higher scale here. Okay, and you can use the middle key of the mouse and scroll, or you can just type Z for zoom, press enter, and then press enter for real time. And then when you click the left key of the mouse, it's called zoom real time. So you can do this, up and down. So press the left key of the mouse and hold it and drag. So that's zoom real time. Press the middle key of the mouse, okay, and pan it. After you're done, escape from the pan and then double click out. Okay. Right now you're in the paper mode. On the paper mode, we're gonna go ahead in the viewport layer that we created. We're gonna draw a circle. Click on circle. You need a center and you need a radius. You can click anywhere I'm going to turn off my object snap so it doesn't snap anywhere by pressing F3. So I already pressed F3. I'm going to click there. So this is gonna be an entity I'm gonna use to cut the extra pieces out of this viewport. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this a couple times. Copy the entire thing. Okay, press enter. We have talked about copy in the past. So for copy, you select the objects, press enter. I'm gonna turn on object snap by pressing F3. Select this corner, copy one here, and let's say another one here. Escape. So now we have a viewport. Also, we have this edge that I'm gonna use. I could do a better job by changing the color of that to, let's say, green. And okay, as you see, the circle that's on paper space is in green. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I can actually clip this viewport using this circle. Okay. Before doing that on this, I'm gonna double click inside the viewport. As you see now, I am in the model space. Within this viewport, you can zoom in, zoom out. Let's go ahead and, for instance, show more details of the left view mirror. Okay. You can also type Z for zoom, press enter. Press enter for zoom real time, and then you can single left click and then pan it with the middle key of the mouse. When you're done, press escape, and actually I'm gonna move it this way a little bit so it's inside the circle. Double click out. Let's go ahead and clip it, clip the viewport using this circle. Okay. Double click inside the third viewport here, just like that. Let's go ahead and show more details of the headlamp. Okay. Again, I'm gonna type zoom or Z for zoom. I pressed enter. I'm gonna press enter again for real time, and then with the left key of the mouse, click and drag. Okay. That's pretty good. It's inside the circle. Escape. Double click out. Go ahead and clip the viewport with this circle. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead to Home tab, click on Layers, and change the color back to black. We can change the thickness or line weight from default to higher, but in this case, I think this is good enough. And that's pretty much it. Right now, we are ready to print this because we have a page set up, we have a border set up. Page setup, we've selected a printer, and this drawing right now is missing dimensions, is missing title block, and in later videos we're gonna talk about how to develop a title block and save it in DWT format, drawing template, and then you can use it in many drawings that you have, okay, depending on the sheet size. We're gonna go ahead to big A and finally print. We're gonna print just a single sheet. You can do layout number 2, but I normally use window. I select my border. When you do window, you can center the plot, so that's very good. Also plot, plot scale. This is 1:1, so from sheet to printer, 1:1. Always preview it before printing. That's good. I could move the text a little higher, but this is exactly what I was looking for. You can right click and plot, then you can go ahead and save it as a PDF file. Tesla T, say version 2, and save it. I'm gonna go ahead and Tesla T version 2. Let's go ahead and open that. Let's go to view, rotate view counterclockwise, Control L. It's going to give you a full size of this PDF file. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was useful. To support this channel, please like and subscribe. Thanks.